Hello, everyone. Let me know if you can hear me all right. That's the main thing. First thing, we need to get in position. And then I just thought on my lunch break, I thought I'm going to just whip a few shanks and tie some hooks. Just a little top up, nothing too drastic. And I thought, why not do it with you guys? So let me know if you can hear me and we will get started. Quite a lot to discuss today. We've been rather busy. Let me just sort this out. Once a few of you join, let me know you can hear me in the chat. That'd be fantastic. And then we can get started. All good, brilliant. So it's been a fantastic few weeks. I'm absolutely knackered. We went to Feeder Masters last week down at Tamar in Cornwall. And we've done the Feeder King this weekend. So full coverage of that. Both great events, absolutely brilliant. And it's been one of those where one of my best mates last week, Lee Kerry, won it. And then obviously Mick, who I'm super close with now, won it this week and on the Feeder King. So brilliant. I got to stay with those guys last week at Cornwall. And we had a great time. And it's just been one of those little 2-week spells where even though I haven't fished, I've just been working. It's been a joy to be there, to be honest with you, because you get to see your friends do really well. It's great. And what them events, Feeder Masters, Feeder King, fantastic events, absolutely brilliant. And certainly, New Fish obviously sponsor the Feeder King, but Mick Viles and Darren Viles own Feeder Masters. So we've got, obviously we're involved in it from the start, and it's just great to see them events go so smoothly. And then see the results at the end of it. It's just brilliant. So, and there's so much interest as well. Like the feeder fishing thing is great, isn't it? Loads of people are interested in that. I've got my mug. And it has to be said, we are rubbish. Shocking. Shocking this season. I can't begin to describe how bad Man United are at the minute, but I'm going to stick with them. I'm sticking with the mug through good and bad. But Jesus, they're bad at the minute. And I thought, like I say, I literally just got 20 minutes now in between editing. I've got a few things rendering in the background, so I thought, well, I'll just top up my box while I'm waiting for some things to come out of the editing suite. And I thought, let's show you guys how I go about tying banded Hooklengths, because I have, apart from paste, I've pretty much put a 6mm or an 8mm pellet in the band every time I fish this year. It's pretty much all I've been using. And as you can see in my latest video, if you haven't seen that, I'll put a comment in the description after this. I hate corn fishing, so it's pellets is like my only option when the paste ain't working. Obviously, meat would be a good option, but I've not been able to get any meat actually recently. The shops have been sold out every time I go in, so I've been pellet mad, and I've just been putting banded Hooklengths on every single week. And as you can see, we've got that there. I use the Preston hook boxes, which are really nice because they're nice and light and don't take up much space. I found them really good. As you can see there, I've been using 6-inch Hooklengths and 3-inch Hooklengths. And before I get going, I'll have a quick chat about the what hooks I've been using, because like I say, this is pretty much all I've been using, certainly for the past 4 or 5 matches, is banded Hooklengths and eyed hooks. And I've just been using, I've gone back in time almost, and I'm back on good old Kamasan B911s. Now, a lot of people have picked up on this. In fact, I was actually out with Lee Kerry last week when I was at Tamar, and I said I'd been using B911s, and he's like, "What? Why would you go to B911s when there's so many superior hooks out there these days, as in PTFE and Teflon coated and stuff?" But I've just had a few, I don't know, blunting issues with the more modern hooks recently, and whereas they're probably not as sharp as the modern hooks straight out the packet, I don't know, they just seem like they keep the point way better, and I can get a full match out one of them. And I've never had that with the modern hooks, really. GPMs, I have had some matches where I've used the same hook for 3 matches. So I will say the GPMs have been really good. But I've had a few other hooks that I wanted to use that haven't been they've just lost the point a bit. And I'd rather just use them. They're just reliable. I've used them for years and then went away from them for the more trendy patterns, and I've just gone back to these. So B911s. And to be honest, I'm using the 16 just about every single time I go. And they've been brilliant. They've not let me down at all. And I sometimes use the extra strong one. If I'm using above 015 reflow or 016 AccuPower, which are the lines I use, I'll put the extra strong version on, an 18 or a 16, and they've been great all summer. Been fantastic hooks. Really like them. Just a few questions coming in. If you haven't got any questions, get them in. I'm going to try and stay on for about 20 minutes. So we're already 5 minutes in. So get your chats and your questions in. Let's have a look. I hope your family are well. Family's great. Thank you very much. Is there a range coming, a clothing range coming out from New Fish? We do caps, t-shirts, hoodies. They're available on our website. If you go on newfish.co.uk, there's the spare section and the merchandise section. If you go on the merchandise section, you can go through to our website, which is Viatech, and they're all up there. Everything that we've got for sales there. And if you want our Gore-Tex or Hulk and Hunt clothing, then Wickers the Angling have a full stock of that, so you can get your hands on that. It is expensive, but it's the best. So yeah, so if you want our clothing like this stuff, you can get it on our website. But if you want Gore-Tex or Hulk and Hunt clothing with the New Fish design, then Wickers the Angling is the place, as it is for all of your Hulk and Hunt stuff, to be fair. Any other questions come in? On your pellet video, you mentioned drying them in the oven. What heat setting did you use? Just 180. That's just pretty much all I ever use, the 180 setting. Like I said, greaseproof paper, put your pellets on, 180, put it in, and take it out. So watched the corn fishing vlog yesterday. Great watch. Thank you very much, Big T. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I had loads of comments. It's been a really popular video, that one. It's been great. Yeah, interesting. It's funny how like certain people love corn and other people hate it. Like say I'm in the, it's just not for me. Not saying it's not a great bait. It's just not for me. I'd rather put a pellet on or a piece of meat. Who else has got some questions coming in? Are you fishing Barbie tomorrow? No, I'm not, Kevin. I'm not. I'm out with Mick tomorrow. We're going to go and film a retrospective look at his Feeder King success at the weekend. Strike while the iron's hot. We'll get out with Mick while the weather's still good, and we'll go find out how he won that and dig a little bit deeper in the tactics that he used. Because I was fortunate to sit with Mick for a lot of the day, and Mick's got this lovely habit of like, explaining what he's doing as he's going along, even when, you know, his dad's watching him or I'm watching him, whatever, and he'll explain what he's doing. And some of the decisions he was making on the fly as he was going, it's just a joy to watch, really. And you could really understand what he was thinking along the way. So if I can get a video where we get that kind of information out of him, it would be brilliant. He's really at the top of his game at the minute, hence why he's winning. And obviously Lee's travelling partner and Share's partner is the same. He's on the top of his game as well. So them two together is a frightening combo. So no Barbie tomorrow. Might go next week though. We'll see. Fish from your old stomping grounds, Joe. Cartvale. I used to love Cartvale. God, what a venue that was. I hope it's still going well. I know Leeds and District have got it. I'll have to get up there and do some filming. I used to love it up there. What time of year would you not use a brand? Thank you, Stephen, for the super chat the other day, by the way. Very much appreciated. You can do that. I'll never, obviously, I've never mentioned it before, but there's like a super chat option. So if you do fancy donating a bit of cash, go for it. Not that I'm asking for anything. On the subject of that, a few people have mentioned about adverts, and I just wanted to clear that up. I obviously don't have a membership option on my channel. I try to keep all my content totally free, but I do it, aside from these live ones, all my editing and that is done in my spare time in the evening. And I think for what I actually get back from YouTube in revenue is minimal, really. Almost not worth me doing it, but I love doing it. It's a really good hobby. So I think the fact that there's just a few adverts on there and I get a little bit back that'll pay towards my kit, I don't think it's a lot to ask to have a couple of adverts in the videos personally. But when, you know, your global companies like Sky Sports and that have put in 10 ads on a Premier League football match video and they're billionaires, little old me can get away with a few adverts, I think. So, but I can go down the members route if you want and charge for my content, but I'd rather not. So that's just the advert thing cleared up, because a few people have been moaning about that, which is, I get it, but it's just a way of me getting some cash out of it to cover my time, basically, because I put a lot of time into it. So some great questions coming in. Yeah, so Stephen, what time of year did you stop using banded hook lens? To be honest, now there's hard pellet fishing year round, isn't there? I'd say December, January, February, that the worst times to catch on hard pellets, really. But you can still catch on them. So year round really, but I would obviously drop the diameter and weight of the hook, etc. But yeah, they're the 3 months where hard pellets is maybe not the option, but some venues they are as well now. So could be year round, to be honest with you. Been out for the chub yet? Not yet. It's I've actually had a few walks along the river recently with the lures, a few evening sessions, and the river's still really weedy, and I'll wait until all that's gone. Hopefully get a couple of big floods as well as some frosts in like end of November, and then I'll have a go. We feed Sean Elliott says we feed liquidized sweet corn when using sweet corn on hook. Can even use it in an open end feeder. Yeah, I get liquidized corn would be very attractive. So yeah, I get it. But it's just not for me. Following the recent golden reel final life of the lakes, what's your thoughts on the live tannoy announcements after every fish caught? Would it annoy you when you were competing? Yes. Phil does a great job there to keep that competition going and as popular as it is. But that tannoy, I've been there a few times covering it, is annoying. Chill out, Phil. You don't have to do it. He's trying to keep everyone entertained and in the loop, but he gets a bit carried away. Oh, Phil, bless him. But good on him for doing that event, because obviously it's, as I know only too well, being involved with Feeder Masters and now Feeder King, it's a bit of a thankless task is running events. I used a mix of 8 mil cube meat and corn clean from fat. It's only been off your boost, soaked, poured oil over for 24 hours and had a fantastic day on the bank. Brilliant, Ian. That's great. There's definitely loads of fish to be caught on corn. Never said there wasn't. It's just for me. Could you get adverts from new fish on upcoming videos or products? A bit of advert money is still beneficial to us anglers, maybe. It's the problem is with trying to get new fish adverts is new fish would have to pay for an advertising campaign with YouTube, and we're not ready for that just yet. Maybe in the future. And it's actually quite hard to get your ads on your own videos, if that makes sense. So sometimes, like because you guys are watching fishing stuff, say a Preston who do a campaign with YouTube, I'll get a Preston advert on mine. So it's just one of those things, unfortunately. But yeah. Anyway, should we get to the crux of the matter? What I'm actually was hoping to show you is tying up some banded hook lengths. Like I say, all mine are, I tie them at 6 inch and then shorten them. But I've been catching quite a few fish shallow against the far bank at Barbie recently, and I like a little 3 inch one for that. So I've got a few of those tied up. And to be honest, just about 9 times out of 10, the perfect combination for me at the moment is a 16 B911 to 013 power line. That is a great combination for sort of 2 to 6 pound carp. I just think that's the perfect sort of combo. Works really well. Now, to get my band in exactly the right place, I use one of these. Now, Christian Jones has done a few videos using this. I don't know its exact name. It's a Stomfo jobby. Let me see if I've got one in the... I ain't got my catalogue to hand. It's a Stomfo jobby. If anyone knows the name, loads of tackle shops sell them. They're like £2. And basically, it's a loop measurer. You can adjust it, obviously, to make your loops bigger. But to get... For a 16 B911, it's like... What is it there? It's like 1 notch up the measurement, if that makes sense. Can you see that? It's like 1 notch up the measurement. And I'll show you how to use that. So the bands I use are just the micro ones, nice and small, but they're quite thick, which I think is important. If you've got them really thin bands on that you see on some, often you pellet, when you're slapping it over, it'll ping off. You don't want that. You want a nice chunky band, and that's what they are. And you can get a 4 mil, 6 mil, or even 8 mil in them. Probably need a banding tool if you're going to put an 8 mil in, because they are small bands. Like I say, so let's get some bands out. Oh, you want some scissors as well. Nice sharp pair of scissors, because it's, especially with like a B911, for example, they're quite a small eye on them. So you do need to have a nice clean end on your line when you're poking tying your hair rig. So first thing to do is, it's going to be quite tricky to show you this actually, I should have thought about this, is take your end of your line, pop your band through it, like so. So you've got your band on your line. Ooh. And then what you've got to do is tie it into a loop. So double your line over, you can see that. So I've got my loop in a, my band in a loop, sorry. Obviously tie just a simple overhand loop. It doesn't need to be a super strong loop or anything, because you're going to whip the knotless knot around it, so it's going to be in position anyway. So I'm just going to tie an overhand loop like that. Simple, just a single. So you've got the knot, you've got the loop, and then this is where this gadget comes in. So what you're aiming to do is put you see it's got 2 prongs. So you want to put the long prong through the loop where the band is, the short one through the secondary loop, like so. See that? Pull it down, and then ease that off there like that, and then pull it tight. So we've got a lovely little loop there. I'm just going to tighten that up. See? So you've got a lovely little loop, and it's the same every time because you're using the little gadget, and you've got a lovely little loop there. And the knot will sit against the eye of the hook, and then I'll whip down this loop, and the band will be in the same position every single time you tie a hook length, which is brilliant. I used to freehand it. I've got a bin down there. I've not just wanged it on the floor, by the way. I used to freehand it, and all my loops would end up a different length, but with that, they're all the same. So next, take your little snipperoonies, get a nice clean cut to your line. Take your hook, and then you've got your B911, and you see the points that way. See that? So you go from back to front. I know this is stuff that's all been shown millions of times, but it's nice to show it. So we're going like that way, and then pull it all the way down so that knot is sitting on the eye, and trap it against the shank, and then we're going to whip it down level to the point. So I'll just do this here. So I don't know how many whips that is, probably 20 whips or something like that. Like I say, this 013 to a 16 B11 is just a lovely balanced combo, and I can use that with white zip, black zip, and I've even used it with green zip. So it's just a lovely balanced combo. I've whipped it all the way down so it's level with the point. And then we'll go back through the back. So back to front again. Pull it through like that. And that's it. Look at that for a perfect banded hook length. So you've got your band is positioned exactly where you want it on the bend. It's in the same position every single time because we've got that loop the same length every single time. And I just think that is as good as it can get. There's no space, there's no extra gaps for it to tangle or anything, because sometimes when you've got a longer hair, it can tangle around the shank of the hook and stuff, whereas that is perfect. So I hope you see that. Get yourself one of them. Cracking bit of kit. And then the last thing to do is just get our length. Now what I like to do, interestingly, I do it in stages. So I will say I've got 10 hooks to tie. I'll get to that point on 10 different, so I won't put the loops on or anything. And I've got a little magnetic strip on my desk, and I'll just pop them on the magnetic strip with no loops on. Then I'll do all my loops at the end and my length measuring. So I'm doing it in stages. So I'll do my hook tying first, and then I'll do my measuring and loop tying at the end and putting them in my box, because I just find it easier to get in a roll, quickly tie 10 hooks, then tie 10 loops. So this little hook box has got markers on there to get your length for your hook length. So pop the hook around the bottom peg there, around the top peg. You see that? So I've gone around the top, made a little loop, take it off, and you've got your measurement there. So you've got your hook length, you've got your loop, and then all it's just a case of then is making an overhand loop like that, taking your loop tire, which is, I think this is a Ringer's one. I've got a few different ones. Pop that through there, spin it around twice, hook that over the crook like so. See that? Little wet. Pull it down tight. And there we go. Perfect banded hook length, as easy as that. Obviously, you can buy the pre-tied ones. There's loads of excellent options available, but I've just done that to camera in no time. Also, got a lovely little loop there. Got a banded hook length there. I think that's the perfect sort of presentation, to be honest. Just below the bend like that. I just think that's excellent. So pop that in my hook length box, and that's it. That's as simple as it is. I'm just, like I say, that 013 to a 16 has been a great combo for me all summer. See, that peg's running a bit low at the minute. And I've been using like a 4x10 or a 4x12 Cypri across at Barbie Banks with a strung out shot and pushing it up to the far bank and catching them on the drop and all sorts. So, and then I've been using a little big head set 6 inches deep with that 3-inch hook length and poking that right up against the grass. So that's been working really well. And that's a, like I said, that B911 013 micro bank combo is brilliant. So let's just see if there's any more questions coming in before I go, because that's 20 minutes. It's flown by, hasn't it? You put oil in your pellets, help them sink easier, Joe. But would you put oil in a pole pot along with the pellets when you're fishing, like the Catboys do? I've done it a lot when I've been feeder fishing, actually. When at Barson, I fished a feeder masters several years ago now, and I was each time I was using a big cage feeder with a cap on the end and scooping hard pellets in. And just before I was doing it, I was liberally coating the pellets with oil, scooping up and chucking them in as quick as possible to create a bit of a slick on the surface, and it worked really well. I ended up coming second in the zone, but it was one of those I came back strong when I started doing that. I think on some venues that slicking it up can really work, so definitely something to consider. What weight of stops goes on the small 3x8 float in a new fish range? I'm not sure, actually. The Tinks 4x8, I think it is. They don't take many. It's like 3 number 11s, I seem to remember. Something like that. Do you do the Alexander Warris says, do you do the scissor groove trick on pellets to hide the band and keep it on for longer? I don't, but I can see why you would do. It's not something I'm against or anything. It's just something I've never really done, to be honest. I probably would if I used to lasso pellets a lot, and it was quite a nice way of doing it years ago, but I've never done it recently. I just I'm quite happy to change my pellet regular, so I'm not too fussed about it staying on for too long. A couple more come in. Richard Webb says it's a Stonfo adjustable loop tire. That's it, adjustable loop tire. Then that's the gadget. Brilliant gadget that is. And like I say, I've got that set. It's literally 1 increment up the measure for a size 16 hook is perfect. I imagine an SLWG or 16 GPM is a similar length as well. So 1 increment up is about right. A couple more. How long do you keep your pellets in oil? Like I say, I do them in stages. So I'll put my pellets in oil and then let it soak in and then add a bit more until they won't take any more in. But then for my hook baits, I actually keep them in oil, so they're fully drowned in it. Literally can't get any more into them. I think fish love it. Right, that's it. That's probably it for the questions. Thanks everyone who's watched the recent videos. The corn one has gone really well. The new fish videos are going really well. Don't forget to subscribe. Only 30% of the guys who are watching are subscribed. I get it's a bit faffy when you're on the TV, but if you are watching on a smartphone or a laptop, please subscribe and give us a like. Also, give New Fishers a subscribe as well, because we're doing some great content on that. Like I say, tomorrow we're out filming a Feeder King recap. So we're looking at how Mick won the Feeder King. So that's going to be good. And I might even try and go live on the New Fish channel, YouTube channel tomorrow as well. So I'm going to go at that. I'm going to get back to work. Hopefully my video that I was just about to finish is rendered now, and I will be able to get that on the channel soon as well for New Fish. So thanks everyone for watching. It means a lot that you all take your time out of your day to tune in, and we'll see you again very, very soon.